Drive, fly, ride, go electric. That is the slogan of this brand, and that is what I'm most interested in. That said, I do have some other interests. I rarely miss a Formula One race. Like hundreds of millions of others, I'm emotionally invested in the team's strategy, racing skills, and drama. While they are incredible machines, anybody with the Tesla Model S Plaid or Lucid can get from 0 to 60 faster than an F1 race car, and the F1 powertrains sure do fail a lot. I think it would be great if F1 would go all electric, but earlier this year, the series CEO, Stefano Domenicali, said that F1 will never do that. Fortunately for me, there is a global open-wheel electric racing series called Formula E. It has even attracted former F1 drivers like Sebastian Buemi, Stoffel van Dorn, and Jean-Eric Vergne. Even if Formula One wanted to improve reliability and stop burning fuel, they can't because Formula E has the exclusive FIA contract through 2039. Don't get me wrong, I've had a great time watching Formula One in person and on TV, but today I'd like you to join me as I look into the ways the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship is moving global electrification forward. Hey everyone, Miss GoElectric here, and today I'm in Portland, Oregon for the ABB Formula E race. This is round 12. It is close to the end of the season. It is a really tight race for the driver standings, and I'm very excited to be here because ABB invited me, and this is my first time ever going to a Formula E race. Motorsport technicians and designers are relentlessly inventive as they find ways to gain the upper hand. Throughout the years, countless improvements related to automotive performance, safety, and efficiency have made their way into production vehicles. Sometimes the technologies and material sciences innovation even goes on to improve other industries like healthcare, aerospace, and communications. Research and development opportunities motivate automakers to directly involve themselves with racing teams. Formula E teams are packed with major global OEMs including Porsche, Nissan, Maserati, McLaren, Jaguar, NIO, and Mahindra. Production EVs have already improved as a direct result of innovation at Formula E. Porsche's Taycan shares hardware with the Formula E 99X, including the DC-to-DC converter. The Porsche recuperation management software in the Taycan has been informed by mountains of data from Formula E. Jaguar pushed a software update to their I-Pace, which increased range by 8% and was the direct result of the lessons their Formula E team had gleaned. This year, Williams Advanced Engineering regained the Formula E contract to provide all Gen 3 battery packs. They greatly improved power density and reduced total pack weight from 850 pounds to 626 pounds. We can see those developments going into production with the nearly 2,000 horsepower Lotus Evija, which is one of my favorite hypercars. The Evija's 90 kilowatt-hour Hyperbat pack benefits from Williams' years of Formula E weight, thermal, and other battery management system innovation. Williams sells their controllers, battery management, and complete powertrains to many industries and has a separate company called Elijah, which offers software developed in Formula E for managing EV fleets. Formula E is also a learning opportunity for other types of companies to push boundaries and improve their products. The series title sponsor, ABB, is a great example. The Switzerland-based global behemoth is involved in just about every sector of the world economy, but related fields of expertise include new energy, EV motors, manufacturing robots, and perhaps most importantly, EV charging hardware. Last year, ABB eMobility North America invited us to the Formula E race in Brooklyn, New York to learn more, and I was devastated when I couldn't attend due to a scheduling conflict. This year, when they extended the invite to go to watch in Portland, Oregon, I jumped at the opportunity. Boy, am I glad I did. I learned that every Formula E competitor is charged on ABB DC quick charging hardware. These mobile units are fully contained and have to remain reliable despite the jostling and extreme temperatures they encounter as they're shipped around the world with the other touring assets. I wanted to learn more about how the hardware was fortified for portability and what lessons from Formula E charging will help regular folks like me with an EV, so I sat down with Bob Stojanovic, ABB's Senior Vice President of eMobility for North America.
We're lucky to be the official charging partner of Formula E this year, so we've got some of our chargers that have been converted to be portable units that travel around with the event, and they're used to charge all the vehicles for the race.
And they're a little bit lighter weight, as I've understood, for this particular series, just to kind of minimize the logistics impacts and things like that, right? Are there any other changes that you've seen over the years that you've made to your equipment, not only in the racing series, but that have impacted the products that you actually sell to your customers?
Yeah, so for the racing series, it's clearly anything you can do to make them more resilient to withstand travel and vibration. I think that's the hardest part. The charging is actually not the hard part. The hard part is getting it from site to site, making sure it's intact and functional and tested. So that's probably the biggest engineering challenge with that. And I think the benefit from that is you look at the way your products are designed and see what you can do to make them lighter, more reliable, more responsive, right? So how that translates to the field is you learn some hard lessons on reliability, and then you implement your changes.
All right, so we have seen a lot of DC fast charging come to the market with varying speeds and lessons on thermal optimization and things of that nature. Can you talk about, since the competition is very stiff, can you talk about the ways that ABB's products for DC fast charging stand out?
Yeah, so there will always be competition. If there's not competition, you're probably not in a good market. So we're aware of that, and we're investing in R&D to make sure that we cover the most needed products in the field. So there's a couple different markets. So you can look at public charging and you can look at fleet charging. They're both very important to us. And then there's the residential stuff. What we're doing, I think, that's important for both fleet and public is we've invested a lot in service, right? Because it's important that those products work, and you can't just expect them to sit out in the public and get used and abused and continue to work. So you need to have a good service protocol, preventive maintenance, active field response, because things go wrong. They should go wrong, and you're only as good as your response to when things go wrong. So that's where our biggest investment is here locally. And then, of course, on the R&D side, we continue to spend time improving our electrical components and power modules to make sure that they can last a minimum of 10 years in the field. And in this, I think with climate change, we're starting to see a more challenging thermal environment out there. So I think Texas has been 40 degrees Celsius or 120 degrees more or less for the last 2 weeks, which is unheard of in the month of June. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited to go to my very first Formula E race, but what should I be looking out for when I go there? Because you've been to one before.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. There's a couple things that it's not intuitive. If you've been you've been to some Formula One races or other types of internal combustion engine races. So the biggest thing that you're gonna see the impact on is that one is you don't hear them coming, right? Two is you can have a conversation when they go by. And then we've got a pretty good pit row experience so that you can go and check out all the different technologies and the drivers there. So it's really meant to be for the public to enjoy, and I think you're really going to have a good time.
Well, I'm excited for it. Thanks for joining us today, Bob, and we look forward to getting out to the race. I only scratched the surface with ABB here, but there's a long-form interview linked in the description if you want to learn more. Let's get back to the race in Portland. We're about to get into the pit lane, so I'm excited to see the cars because these Gen 3 vehicles are the fastest and the most sustainable electric race cars that have ever been built. So let's head over to the pits. I had a chance to walk the paddocks as teams prepared their race cars and drivers signed autographs. Penske here. They're one of two technically American teams here. This is a home race for them, which is kind of exciting. Big day for these guys at Nissan. Sacha and Norman both made the duels. Lucas deGrassi, he also has a separate electric scooter racing series that he promotes and he created, which is really cool. We got all the drivers are out here and they're signing autographs. Jake Hughes, Renee Rast, the McLaren team. I don't see any Zach Brown in here, so maybe he's not at this race, but.
A very warm welcome to all of you on behalf of our Heuer Porsche Formula E team. very happy to have you here. My name is Patrick, and also happy to provide you with some behind the scenes insight. What do we have here? We have two different sides of our garage. Of course, we are understanding ourselves as one big family, motorsport family, always fighting for the race win, for a maximum possible result. And nevertheless, we need to divide ourselves because you simply can't focus on two cars at the same time, on two drivers at the same time. One of them you can see over there, who is Pascal, currently leading the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship in the Drivers' Championship. And we are also leading the Team Championship at the moment. And we do our very, very best to have this kind of standing also after the race at approximately 6 p.m. I want you to look over there because there is a very decent little white box from ABB, which is not only the title partner of the ABB FIA World Championship, but also we as a Heuer Porsche Formula E team have the privilege having them directly as our team partner. And we hope to pay off this trust with both World Championship titles. It has a great charging capacity. It's actually the fastest portable mobile charger for cars available on a global scale worldwide. And with that charger, if we charge only one car, we are capable of charging a car within only 15 minutes. When we have like two cars getting charged at the same time, then we need double the time, like 29, 30 minutes. Which is amazingly impressive.
Well, this is really cool. All the cars are actually coming into the pits right now. They're done with qualifying. Some of the drivers are signing autographs, but they're moving in, so we gotta get out of the way.
The pit lane was very busy between qualifying and the race, and it was cool to see some big names in the EV world, like my buddy Sandy.
That's Jake Dennis. He actually just won pole, and he bumped his way up to the top of the driver's standings. It's so cool.
Somehow, I found myself chatting with legendary team owner Michael Andretti.
Congratulations on the pole position, with Jake now making a move to the front of the driver's standings. That's a big deal, and a few extra points there.
Yeah, it's huge, and to do it on home soil is awesome.
Exactly, too. And that's what I was going to say. This is exciting as you're an American team, one of only two here in the pits that are celebrating that. Now we're progressed a little bit further into the season, and you've seen the impact of these Gen 3 cars. So can you talk about the difference between the years past and what an impact the Generation 3 power plant is doing for the sport?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool in seeing how everything's evolved from day one when we started this, and to see where we are now, the amount of horsepower we're putting out and going a full distance of the race compared to where we started with hardly any horsepower and having to switch cars in the middle of the race. I think that says something about the way this technology is just taken off. And, it's not only from year to year, from race to race, we're seeing, things get better and better in terms of, software and things like that they can make these things go further and faster. It's just amazing.
Isn't it? Can you talk about the impact of electrification in motorsports and those decisions that you made to?
Yeah, I mean, we did it, we're in the business of racing, it doesn't have to be gas in our car to race, we just went to competition and the technology, and it's been really fun being at the ground level of the technology and to be a part of it. I mean, the things you're seeing right now, you're going to see on your road cars tomorrow. You know, so that's what's happening when you have a bunch of manufacturers competing against each other. It just pushes the level of development that much quicker, and it's really been cool to be a part of it.
Oh, we're excited to see you in it, and being at the top, that's also exciting.
Yeah,
This is a tough track because of the way that it is outlined in comparison to a lot of street circuits that you have.
Yeah. So we don't know what to expect. I mean, we really
you're sitting
don't.
at pole, so you don't have the street slipstream advantage. So what do you foresee?
I don't see us leading the race. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to lead the race until the last 100 yards. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, who can do the best job at saving their energy, because you lose a lot of energy here on these long straightaways. So that's why I don't know what to expect. I mean, I'm just hoping that you know, we can do a better job than the other guys, because I know they don't know what to expect either.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, congratulations again, and thanks for taking some time with us today.
While I was exploring, I learned of a scandal with another big name in racing. Roger Penske's team was penalized for conducting some secret digital surveillance on the other team's tires. Clearly, these competitors mean business, and I was fired up to see them do battle.
All right, we've made our way over to the fan zone, and there's a lot going on here, but something caught my eye, and that is these giant robotic arms. Now, I know ABB does a lot as far as the charging stations here for Formula E, but Israel, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on here with these robots and what exactly they do?
Absolutely. Right here we have an RB 5510. This is one of our paint robots. You would find this robot in most of the automotive facilities. These are part of the production process of cars, and right now they are normally painting the car, applying coat by coat. But what we are showing here is our new pixel paint head, which is actually very similar to what you would find on an inkjet printer. We have 1,000 nozzles in there that actually can apply very tiny drops. And then that allows us to customize the pattern of the paint. So normally you would have to apply a coat of paint, mask it, let's say with a circle, and then you would apply a second coat of paint to form that circle. Now we have so much control that you can just do one pass and draw that circle, just as a printer would do.
There are, I think you said something like 400,000 of the robots. So can you talk about the other elements of what those robots are doing other than the paint application process?
So we are a big part of the automotive industry because we have robots that do parts of the initial process of manufacturing, which could be welding, which could be assembling. If you go into any car plant, you would see 500 robots building a car in seconds, right? And we're also now building motors for EVs, for example. So we have entire robots that handle magnets, that handle batteries, that handle the stators. So we are in most of the production facilities nowadays.
Very cool. Well, thanks for showcasing your robots. We'd love to see it. This is a very unexpected, interesting element to the Formula E race here. So very cool. Thank you for spending some time with us.
You're very welcome.
This is so cool. I'm ready to see the pole-to-pole Aria expedition vehicle. Chris and Julie, who is a husband and wife partner, are taking this across each Arctic and Antarctic, and it's pretty amazing the things that they're going to do. You'll see not only do we have the car here, but their windmill that they have towed behind them for the expedition, because especially in the Arctic they needed to generate some power that way to charge up the car.
There were several grandstands scattered around the track, holding a sold-out crowd of over 20,000 race fans. The start was wild because the wide track allowed the drivers to stack 4 deep. I loved the energetic and informative play-by-play commentary over the speakers. Formula One didn't have that when I attended last year in Miami. A helicopter camera provided a clear view of all the action, along with several trackside cameras broadcasting to jumbo screens with helpful graphics. The cars were hitting speeds of over 170 miles per hour on this track. It was clear these guys are used to competing on tighter street tracks. The wide berth and long straightaways lent themselves to plenty of contact and runoff, which meant we saw the safety car multiple times. The race was supposed to be 28 laps, but 4 laps were added to make up for that.
This is going to be into the last lap. He's got to do it to cost at the end of the straight or he doesn't have a chance.
Ultimately, Nick Cassidy of the Envision Racing team earned first place with the Jaguar powertrain. That was his 4th win in 5 races. Second place went to Jake Dennis from Avalanche Andretti, which put him at the top of the driver's standings with only 2 doubleheaders left in the season. They raced with a Porsche powertrain. In 3rd place was Antonio Felix da Costa of the Tag Heuer Porsche team. He won the whole series 3 seasons ago, but he is number 6 in the driver's standings this year. His team, however, is in the top spot so far this season. I'm really happy for the access ABB e-mobility gave us in Portland. The city seemed like a smart choice since most of their electricity comes from wind or hydropower, and Oregon is among the top states for EV adoption. The race will be back there next year, and I plan to keep up with the series until then. If you're into Formula E, let me know in the comments what I should cover next. Until then, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.